Okay, today we're going to try to make flashcards in PowerPoint, and this can be used for digital flashcards as well as your standard traditional printed flashcards. So the first thing I need to do is click on Microsoft PowerPoint. Once it opens, you might get this kind of message, just close that. And for a standard flashcard, you're going to need two text boxes, one for the vocabulary term and one for the definition. So this works well. I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. My box is a little bit smaller. When you resize a text box or a picture, always be sure you drag from the corner. That will keep the proportions. If you roll your mouse over the corner, it will get a two-headed arrow. That means that you can resize once you see that your cursor has turned to a two-headed arrow. If you want to move your text box, roll your mouse over any of the borders, it becomes a four-sided arrow, and that means you can move it. So we want the actual term to go in here, and it's going to go, let's move it, make it a little smaller, move it to the top or somewhere on the left-hand side of the slide. And this box is going to be for the definition. Make it a little bit smaller and move it over to the right-hand side of the slide. Don't worry about the size of your boxes. They'll change to accommodate whatever words you type in. So this will be my first term. So let's try vocabulary term. And I will put this definition over here. So I have one half of my slide is for the term itself, and the other half is for the definition. And let's say you need a picture also. So we can insert a picture easily. Just go to Insert. Let's just use clip art for this. So we'll click clip art. Let's say our first vocabulary term needs to be about a lake. So you can type the word lake in here, click go. It'll bring up all these different clip art pictures of lakes. I think I like this one. I'm going to just click on it and drag it over to the side of where I have my vocabulary term. Okay, if we're going to use these cards digitally, we don't want the definition to show at the same time as the term itself, so we need to animate this definition to come in after the term appears. So I'm going to click on the word definition, I get the box, I'm going to go over here to animations, and let's say I want it just to float in. So I click float in. Now we can view our slideshow. Click on slideshow. We'll see what this looks like. We can start it from the beginning or from the current slide if you have more than one slide, but we'll just click from the beginning. So my term will be here, my picture, and then when I click, the definition will appear. So I have one slide complete. Hit escape on your keyboard to exit this preview mode. And let's say we want to insert another slide. So I click on my Home tab. I go to New Slide right here. Again, I need two text boxes. So this text box will work fine. I'm going to make it smaller. Keep it on the left-hand side of my page. Now this text box, excuse me, see, you can add a picture or a graph or tables, things like that. That's fine, but we just don't need it for that. But just go ahead and make it smaller as well. Drag it over to the right-hand side of the page. And we're going to add our text up here. So we just backspace that bullet, and this will be the definition. Okay, once I put in text, PowerPoint realizes I don't want to put in a graphic or a table or anything, so it took away those options. I click outside of it, and I spelled definition wrong. Sorry, right-click. If you ever misspell a word, it'll give you the proper spelling. And let's say we want to add a picture. Let's say this word now is about an ocean. There's a great picture of an ocean. I will drag that over. Oh no, it's super big. That's not a problem. I just need to resize it just like I did my text box. Come up to the corner, drag it smaller, and then reposition it underneath. Oh, and I forgot to put in vocabulary term underneath my vocabulary term. So then you can just continue to do this for all of your terms and all your definitions. Just add slides so that your extra slides will show up here. Now, before we do anything else, let's save what we have. So you click on File, go to Save As, just to be safe so you know exactly where you're putting your information. You can name it, vocabulary, Latin vocabulary, chapter 1 or however your teacher tells you to title it. Make sure you're putting it in the right place. So you can click on this down arrow if you want to put it on a thumb drive. That would be the best thing if you're using the netbooks, is to put it on a thumb drive. So you would just click down here, and I don't have a thumb drive in it, but you would see, you just put it on your, you'd see your thumb drive show up, and you click that as an option. And click Save. I'm not going to do that for this, so I'm just going to cancel. And now let's say we're ready to print. So we go to the File tab again, click on Print. And we really don't want to print a whole page for each term. That would just take up a lot of paper and use a lot of toner. So let's print more than one slide per page. So instead of doing full page slides, click this down arrow, and you can either do 6 slides or 4 slides per page, whichever your preference is, or how, if you have a lot on many slides, maybe 6 slides would be best. So let's click 6, and as you'll see, this puts 6 individual slides. So you have 2 here and 2 following and 2 following per page. Once you're finished, if you want, you can just cut these out and then fold your cards right along this line. You can just fold them right down the middle, and then you'll have the term on one side and the definition on the other. So the term will be on one side, and then you'll fold it in half and have the definition on the back. And you just have to cut out, 6 slides per page, fold them, and you have standard flashcards. Once you have them printed, you're good to go. You can either use them now printed, or you can pull up PowerPoint from your thumb drive anywhere you are and view them digitally.